All right. So one of the first things we're going to do is check out all the stuff we're going to break apart. One, I really like these buoys here, and I'd like to use them in other projects. So I'm probably going to cut those out and save those models for later. I also want to get this reel that's on here and break this apart so we can have a net that gets pulled in and we can use this as a fishing boat. It looks like there's a little bit of hole room right here, so I'll look about cutting those out as well so we can open that up and store fish in there maybe. And then also we're gonna break out this throttle that's right here, and there is a steering wheel. Don't mind the other steering wheel that I have there. That was just when I was making my template, but there's a steering wheel here we're gonna break out, and then we're gonna take this screen too. Looks like a good part to break out too. Yes, we could lift the motor if I wanted to get too technical. So when you get in it, it's forward, and then as you drive forward, it puts it down when you start the engine. That's pretty much what we're going to do. Now I have this boat over here, and it contains something called an LOD, level of detail. What we're doing is we're taking a placeable object that was in one of the maps and using it as a mod. Now there's going to be two here. Usually level 1 is going to be less detail, so it's not going to include certain things. So we want to take this LOD2, and I'm just going to duplicate it for right now so I don't mess up my mod. And then with my middle mouse, I'm going to click and drag to the very bottom. So now I have this model exactly where it was. Or come to File, Export Selection. I already have it exported in here, but I'm going to select OBJ as a file type, Boat03. I'm going to hit Save. I'm going to replace it. And there we go. Now it's time to open up Blender. I'm not going to get crazy with materials with this. It's relatively simple. So we're going to come up to the very top up here where it says File, Import. We're going to look for wavefront.obj. Once we come here, we need to locate where exactly that is saved at. Once you found your location, go ahead and select it, and we're going to import it in. I have my little guy for reference here. I'm just going to pull him up and get him out of the way because this is about the size we want the boat. I'm going to close my panel here right now for the Giants exporter. I'm going to select the model using left click, and then from there I'm going to press tab. Tab's going to bring us into edit mode. And this is where we can start grabbing pieces. If you double tap A, hit A once, it'll select everything. Double tap it to deselect everything. And now I want to grab some of these buoys. So I'm going to go to the model portion that I want. I'm going to come up to the top up here. You have a selection choice of 3 different things: vertices, lines, or faces. And we want to go faces. Using the L key, as in Lima, L, I'm going to select everything I want to pull out. This is the tedious part. Really got to make sure that you get in there and get every nook and cranny, because there's probably going to be faces hiding somewhere. Once I'm all done, I like to hold the Z, as in zebra, key, and we're going to go to wireframe really quick and just kind of take a peek and make sure we got all the faces that we wanted to get with this thing. For that, I'm going to hold the Z key again, and it'll bring up this radial menu. And we're just going to go to solid. So with that selected, I'm going to press the P as in papa, and I'm going to separate by selection. Now I have a nice little buoy, but the issue is if I come up here to my cursor, move, rotate, I'm just going to click on move, and then I'm going to press tab to get out of my edit mode. You can see that our main point of where we move this around at is way down here. We want to reset that origin. Now, a fast way to do this is going to come here, select your edges right here, and we have 2 edges that are embedded in the model, but we can still get them. We go into wireframe, we can select both of them. We can see it puts it exactly where we want it, that selection point. Shift and S. We will change it to cursor to selected. Now the cursor's right there. We can get out of edit mode. We still have our bad boy selected here, but we need to right click on it now, and we're going to go to set origin to 3D cursor. Now we can control it right here. Next object I want to do is this reel. So we need this reel. Same process. We're going to make sure we're on face select, and then we're going to use the L as in Lima key while in edit mode to select all the faces. Now you can see our orientation. We're still like looking at that buoy right there. So what I recommend you do is there's a period key on your numpad. If you press that, it'll reorient your camera to what you're looking at, and it makes this way easier. You're not fighting looking around inside of Blender. Now that didn't take too long. I have everything selected here. Hit P to separate it. After we have it separated, we're going to click on our vertices, and there's a little vertice point right there. And I am sure there's another vertice point right there. So I'm going to have both of these selected. Instead of that one, I want that more interior one. We can see it's exactly where we want. So using Shift and S again, we will move cursor to selected. We're going to press Tab to get out of edit mode. Right click on it, set origin to 3D cursor. I'm going to go back to material mode. Now, if I hit R for rotate, and then I do, I cycle through X, Z, Y, it's whatever axis you're cutting, you'll notice that it spins freely now and there's no wobble to it. That's why we chose the vertices, because that is the very most center of the model. All right. Now, the thing is, I want this bad boy to kind of rotate too. So unfortunately, I need to cut out this thing too. Make sure nothing's selected. I'm going to quickly go through and L it up. Now I'm having difficulty selecting this one right here. That's because I am in vertices select mode. I'm going to come up and press face. Now I can select faces easily. We're going to do that route. I think I got everything. Okay, out of that mode. Now I'm going to hit E to separate, but I want this to be able to rotate on this pipe axis. So now I'm going to come right here and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to select the outermost edge of this because that should be a decent focal point for us. With that selected, I'm going to do Shift and S as in Sierra, cursor to selected, press Tab to get out of edit mode, right click, press select origin to 3D cursor. My apologies. Okay, we have an issue though, because if we press R to rotate, we cycle through, find where our rotation axis. We notice that when we rotate, it doesn't move the spindle with it now. What we want to do is make this a child of this. So what we're going to do is select the reel first, and then I'm going to select the pipe, and I'm going to press, is it Control and P, I think? Yep. Control and P is going to bring up the parenting object. And for our particular use case, we want to set parent to object and keep transformation. This will keep all your numbers right. After we've done that, I can reselect the pipe only here. And now I should be able to rotate and it moves the whole pipe. And you can see that I'd messed up here. You can see that there's a chunk that I missed during this whole process, but no need to worry. Okay, now exporting is relatively simple. I'm going to cover that really quick. And with everything selected that I want to export, all the parts, pieces, we have our materials assigned. I'm going to come over and I have the older Giants exporter installed because it gives me less problems. You can work with whatever one you want because we're not playing with materials right now. So as is, I have no collisions or anything special to do here. I'm just going to come down here to file location, choose a spot to save it. Okay, it'll come up here. I just saved it as export and I press export select. It'll take a minute, but once you get that done, you'll be able to open it up and we can see in here, add a little bit of light, that the throttle is all cut out. Same thing with our buoy, our hatch. Now I started to build a hatch in there. It didn't come out very good. So what I'm going to do is select the boat, come here, and I'm just going to do double-sided because now it can be more enclosed in there. Now I have my original mod back up and open here, and I am ready to import in the exported boat. See, everything comes in. It's kind of a lot to deal with, but I can actually now, except for the glass, I want to keep this glass. I could actually now delete this LOD and I can come right into here, select all of these guys using Shift and click, and then use my middle mouse button to drag. I'm just going to take it to, I'm going to go up here to transform to the very top. It has all my stuff in there. Now the process of actually going through and coding all that would be a longer video. So I'll see you in the future with that one.